Okay, so many expressions, so many idioms. Let's go through some. All right. The rat race. This is the race to make money, come out on top. Call that the rat race. Right? It's difficult. It's like sometimes you're like a hamster just spinning in place on a wheel, right? Spinning in place. A rat race. Difficult to get ahead, to get forward. We're just treading water, right? Like somebody in water, just treading water, staying in place. Maybe in a business meeting, not making progress towards a goal, just treading water. How's it going? Oh, same old same. Nothing really. It's just same same day, same thing. They might say same crap, different day, right? It's just it's the same. My life's been largely the same lately. Nothing exciting has happened. Nothing out of the ordinary. Same old same. Same old same old. Right? She totally ghosted me. She totally ghosted me. Ghosted me. Somebody was supposed to show up. They didn't show up. Usually in reference to a date. You had a date, 7 p.m. They didn't show up. They ghosted you. Okay? They're flaky. They're flaky. Somebody that says they'll be somewhere sometime and they don't show up, or they show up very late, or they say they'll do something and you never quite know, will they actually do it? They're flaky. Flaky. Okay? They're the salt of the earth. The salt of the earth. They are very down to earth. Down to earth. They are um, like common people. Humble, hardworking, honest. Okay? You're good, average person. Salt of the earth. Okay? Could, would, should. I could do something, right? I have an option. I'm able, all right? It's possible. I could. Would. I would do something if this uh, other object is in place, or if the timing is right, or if I'm allowed to via the rules or something. I would. Okay. So um, should. I should do something. I ought to do something. It seems like the right thing to do. I should, right? I should I should take good care of my health, right? I should. Right? The grass is always greener on the other side. So, um, I took a job in Thailand. I think it would have been better if I took the job in Vietnam. Who's to say? The grass is always greener on the other side. It seems like no matter how good a choice we make, sometimes it seems like the other choice may have been better. The grass is always greener on the other side, right? In our mind, our imagination, we imagine it could have been even better, maybe if we done something a little different. Walk a mile in my shoes. That's to say, to know what it's like to be me, you would have to walk a mile in my shoes, in my circumstances, all right, in my life story for you to know. If you can imagine yourself in somebody else's place, that is empathy, okay? You're empathizing with them. on a feeling level, you're imagining what it's like to be them, right? Whereas sympathy is less contact, more distant. It's just sympathy is more like, oh, that must be tough. But you're really not imagining what it's like to be them. Whereas with empathy, you could say, oh, I bet that was tough. I imagine that was tough. And you're actually imagining what it would be like if that happened to you. Okay? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. This is a phrase. Of course, this is a shortened phrase. Should have, could have, would have. But you'll hear an American speaker say shoulda, coulda, woulda. So if somebody says, oh, if only I would have done this, this would have been so great, somebody might respond with shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? It's kind of hinting the person that we can't know the future. There's always seems like another option that maybe we would have taken, but it's over. You can't change the past, right? So shoulda, coulda, woulda is a lighthearted way of saying, don't think about it that way. It's not going to, worrying about it isn't going to help. Thinking about the past and trying to change the past won't help. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Let it go, right? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Hindsight is 2020. Similarly, so when we have glasses or we have contacts or we don't need them, we have 20/20 vision. Or ideally, we get prescribed and we can see 20/20 vision, perfect vision, right? So looking back at the past, something that's already happened, we can see more clearly. We can see more clearly how our actions resulted in what is happening now. And we could also maybe see a path more clearly. That would have been better. But hindsight is 20/20, right? Behind is 20/20, but we can't go back to the past, right? So it's another phrase that's kind of hinting that hindsight is 20/20. We can't change the past, and we couldn't have seen as clearly now as then, right? So hindsight is 20/20. Let it go, right? I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have a crystal ball. So crystal ball, somebody that can see the future. We can't see the future. We can't know for sure. I don't have a crystal ball, right? So if somebody says, what will happen with this? We might say, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you for sure. Sometimes if somebody is coming to you as an authority on a subject, somebody, maybe they trust your opinion, right? But you want to tell them, I have an opinion, but I don't have a crystal ball. So don't make a decision based on what I say. It's just my opinion, okay? I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you with 100% certainty, okay? It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. So this is saying that I am confident that something will happen. How long it takes, I'm not sure, but it's just a matter of time before it happens for sure. I'm very confident that it will happen. It's just a matter of time. I don't know how long it'll take, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month, but it's just a matter of time. I think it will happen, but I'm not sure how long it will take. It's just a matter of time. All right. I'm going to catch 40 winks. So, winks with our eyes. I'm going to take a nap. Sleep, okay? I'm going to, gonna, right? Short form of going to, right? I want to push the envelope. I want to push the envelope. I want to, right? Push the envelope. So that is to to go further than what is expected or what's normal, right? So if I'm doing something, maybe I'm working on a race car and I want to get the most horsepower out of the engine, right? I might tweak it and turn it. I'm going to push the envelope. I'm going to push the engine to its limits, right, before it breaks, because I want to see how much it can increase in horsepower without breaking, without blowing up, right? I'm going to push the envelope to the extreme, okay? I should have sat on my hands. Should have. Sat on my hands. Sat on my hands means you sit on your hands, you can't do anything. So sometimes the best course of action to take, the best thing to do is to wait, to sit on your hands, okay? To sit on your hands. I should have sat on my hands instead of acting too hastily, right? Acting too quickly without thought, right? I should have sat on my hands, been patient, thought it over more, right? I could have seen it your way. I could have seen it your way. Seen it your way. Could have seen things from your perspective, seen your opinion on it, heard it, and taken it in more and considered it. And I could have seen it your way, or maybe I should have seen it your way, right? Maybe I'm saying you were right, right? I could have seen it your way, and maybe it would have been a better decision, but maybe I didn't, right? I could have seen it your way. I could have heard you, and I didn't, and I apologize, right? I could have, right? All right. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself, right? So maybe you have a very strong opinion on something, and it's in a workplace environment, and it is something controversial and something that will cause people to fight in the workplace needlessly. Maybe your boss will say, I respect your opinion, but keep it to yourself, okay? Because this person over here is very sensitive to that, and it will just cause needless tension. It'll create tension for no reason, okay? So please keep it to yourself, okay? Let's make it happen. Let's make this work. Let's do it, right? Let's finish this job. Let's make it happen. Let's have it be a success. Let's make it happen, right? You may hear this with this kind of inflection. Well, 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 right? Well, well, well. And that can be a way to kind of jab and poke somebody, kid with them a bit, to basically say, to show that maybe something you thought about them was right and it's not the best character trait they have. Maybe they have a little vice of some type, like maybe they smoke cigarettes and you saw them smoke. You might say, well, 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 I saw you smoking, right? So it's a subtle way. It has to be done in a certain way to come across jokingly, to where you're poking them a little bit, but not mocking them, right? Well, well, well. It's supposed to be in good fun, okay? How about that? How about that, right? So that is uttering some degree of surprise, or sometimes the opposite of surprise, something that you knew. And that way it would be ironic. But you could say, how about that? How about that, right? Something that fits well, something that surprises you or doesn't surprise you at all, in the case of irony, right? How about that? Wow. Well, that doesn't surprise me at all, right? Or how about that? How about that? Something that you find interesting and neat and kind of exciting to learn. So, how about that can have different meanings based on the context and your inflection. We're just going in circles, right? Same as we're just treading water, right? Um, we're not progressing to the goal we set out for. We're just going in circles, right? We need to change actions somehow to change this and to start going towards the goal instead of just going around in circles, right? Let's pool our resources together. So, maybe let's pool our resources together. Maybe John is really good with coding, Cheryl's really good with R, and Tom is really good at sales, and we're all kind of working separately. Let's pool our resources together. Let's bring everybody together on this project and see if we can make the project more of a success by pooling in these resources from different teams and working together, right? Or maybe we're looking to buy something and I only have X amount of money. They have X amount of money. We all want this thing, but we don't have enough money separately. We can pool our resources together, our money together to purchase this thing we could all use, right? When push comes to shove, so it's basically saying something is going to be a certain way. When push comes to shove, the result is the same, right? So we can maybe talk about it as a lot of other possibilities, but when push comes to shove, this is what happens, or this is what's going to happen, right? So when push comes to shove, it's just it's already decided, all right? So we can talk about it. We can maybe beat around the bush, like talk about it indirectly. But if we're being honest and we talk directly about it, when push comes to shove, it's a certain way, and we can't avoid that, okay? Let's see how it plays out. So this is similar to let's play it by ear. Let's see how it plays out. So when the time comes, we'll see how it does. All right. Let's see how it plays out. Somewhat similar to we'll cross that bridge when we get there. It's something in the future that hasn't quite occurred yet. We're waiting to kind of see. All right. When we play it by ear, other obligations or things might take our priorities. So we may or may not do that. Let's see how it plays out. We're just waiting to see if this is actually going to be beneficial or neutral or whatever, right? And we'll cross that bridge when we get there, is something where you can't really make a decision on it until you're further along in the process. Cross that bridge when we get there to make a decision on it. So maybe let's see how it plays out. And as far as changing course, changing some aspect of our approach, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So if we see how it plays out and it doesn't meet our expectations, we'll change it at that time in the future. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right? And then you're fishing for something. You're fishing for something. If I'm asking somebody a line of question and I don't want to be fully direct on what I'm asking them, I want to see if they tell me something that I'm not asking directly, maybe pull it out of them without them knowing, or have them give me the information I'm not asking directly. I'm almost being sneaky about how I'm asking. I'm fishing for something. So somebody might say, "You're fishing for something. What do you really want to ask me?" Right? You're fishing for something.